I don't think America First should be a conservative issue. It should be a bipartisan issue, but the Democrats have taken a really radical, un-American approach to American politics. So it's odd to say that America First is a conservative value, but it is. And I think the people of Wyoming sent a very clear message this week.
Wow. And now shifting to Mar-a-Lago, Eric Trump states that they have surveillance video of FBI agents raiding Mar-a-Lago. Have you seen any of the footage? Do you think it will be released to the public?
So I have not seen the footage. Of course, I was there, but I wasn't allowed to, accompany the officers or really see anything that they were doing. So the Trump organization manages the property at Mar-a-Lago, so they have all of the footage. And of course, Eric Trump runs the Trump organization. So they can release it when they're ready. I would be curious to see it and see exactly where the agents went and where they were. I don't even know entirely what the cameras cover, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it too.
Yeah. And how did you initially find out that day, going back to the raid, that it was happening? And then what did you do when you found out?
So I got a call from one of the attorneys in Washington, D.C. saying they'd just been notified that the FBI was on site. And I had been one of the attorneys at the meeting on June 6th. So I had already, been a part of this process on this issue. So they reached out to me and said, are you in Florida? And I was, thankfully. And they said, please get down to Mar-a-Lago as soon as you can. How quickly can you be there? And I said, well, I'm about 30 minutes away. And they said, get down there. The FBI is raiding the place. We had no idea this was coming. Can you go down there and try to figure out what's happening? So I got in my car and, drove 30 minutes to Mar-a-Lago and met up with the officers, and everything kind of unfolded from there.
Wow. And what happened when you met up with the officers?
So I tried to find somebody who looked like they were in charge, and there were a couple that stood out. So I went over to them and kind of said, what are you doing? What is this all about? And they were not offering a lot of information. I asked to see the warrant. They didn't want to provide the warrant initially. We had to negotiate that a little bit. So after, a minute, they said, they let me see the warrant. They did not give me a copy initially. So I could at least confirm that they had one. And then it wasn't until the end of the day, maybe 9 or so hours later, that they actually gave me a copy of the warrant. Throughout the day, I tried to follow, try to observe what they were doing. They wouldn't let me. So I took as many pictures as I could and tried to take some video. But I didn't really have a great location to take a lot of good video because they wouldn't let me anywhere, where they were working. So I did what I could. I tried to document what I could. I asked to see badge numbers. They declined to let me know who the officers were that were working there. They wouldn't really give me any information until the end of the day when they gave me that warrant and the receipt of property, which, is now public and a lot of people have seen. But that's pretty much all the information that they gave me.